The armory was quiet except for the sound of steel sliding into steel. Sergeant Maya Rains worked alone, carefully filing rifles back into their racks after another long training exercise. Her movements were steady, precise, almost graceful. To most, this was just routine. To her, it was a ritual, a way to bring order to chaos. The captain had stopped in the doorway, unnoticed. His eyes scanned the room, then froze on the small ID badge clipped to her uniform. A code name glared back at him in bold black letters, Crosswind. The captain's heart skipped. He hadn't seen that code name in years. Crosswind, a broken bar, he muttered under his breath. Maya stiffened, turning around. Sir? The captain stepped forward, voice heavy with disbelief. Where did you get that name? For a moment, silence hung between them, thick with unspoken history. Maya looked down at her ID, then back at him. It was given to me, broken bar, long before I joined your unit. I don't usually talk about it. The captain remembered. Crosswind wasn't just a code name. It was a legend whispered in desert camps and mountain posts. During the war years, an anonymous sharpshooter known only by the call sign had saved dozens of soldiers from ambushes. No one knew their identity, only that when the wind shifted, so did the tide of battle. And now, standing in front of him, filing rifles as if she were just another soldier, was the woman behind it. Why didn't you ever tell anyone? He asked quietly. Maya sighed, setting a rifle down gently. Because soldiers don't need legends, sir. They need teammates. And a broken bar. To be honest, I was tired of being defined by what I did in war. I just want to serve quietly now. The captain studied her. She wasn't boastful. She wasn't proud. She was humble, almost to the point of disappearing into the background. But the truth of who she was couldn't stay hidden. Later that week, during a live-fire exercise, disaster struck. One of the recruits panicked when his weapon jammed. Shots rang out too close, and the young private froze in the open, exposed. Without hesitation, Maya moved. Not with the aggression of a hero seeking recognition, but with the instinct of someone who valued life above all else. She pulled the recruit to safety, taking the risk upon herself. When the exercise ended, the shaken private whispered, "You saved me." "Why would you risk that?" Maya just smiled softly. "Because someone once risked everything for me. That's how we keep each other alive." The captain, watching from a distance, felt something stir inside him. He had always believed strength came from command, from authority. But seeing Maya Crosswind, he realized true strength came from humility, from the willingness to protect even when no one was watching. That night, he gathered the unit. For the first time, he spoke openly about her identity. "You all should know who's been training beside you," he said, his voice steady. "Sergeant Rains is a Crosswind. The ghost sharpshooter who saved more lives than you'll ever read about in the history books. And the reason you're standing here today, a broken bar, is because people like her never gave up on us." The recruits looked at Maya with awe. But she shook her head. "Don't look at me like a legend," she said firmly. "Look at me like one of you. Because every single one of you has the power to be someone else's Crosswind, quietly, selflessly, without needing your name written anywhere." The room fell silent. Then, one by one, the soldiers straightened their backs, inspired not by glory, but by the reminder that compassion was strength too. The captain smiled, a rare softness breaking through his hardened exterior. In that moment, he understood. Legends don't always belong in the past. Sometimes, they stand right beside you while firing rifles, saving lives, and reminding you that kindness is the most powerful weapon of all. Ending message. And so, the codename Crosswind wasn't just a story whispered in the dark. It became a living reminder that heroism is not about being remembered, it's about helping others remember their worth. The days following the captain's revelation were different. The recruits looked at Maya with new eyes, some full of awe, others with curiosity. But Maya remained the same. She still cleaned rifles after exercises. She still helped the younger ones adjust their sights, corrected their posture, and quietly stayed behind to pick up stray shell casings when no one else bothered. But one evening, a hesitant knock came at the barracks door. A young private stepped inside, fidgeting with his cap. It was the same recruit she had saved during the live fire drill. "Sergeant Rains?" he said nervously. Maya looked up from the weapon she was maintaining. "What is it, Private?" He swallowed hard. "I just a broken bar. I don't know how you do it." "You've seen the worst, haven't you? And you ate a broken bar. You don't seem bitter. You still care about people. How do you keep that part of you alive?" Maya put the weapon down and folded her hands. She thought for a long moment before answering. "When I was younger, before anyone called me Crosswind, I lost someone important to me," she began softly. "A friend who never made it home. I promised myself then that if I survived, I wouldn't let war turn me cold. Because if kindness dies in USA broken bar, then what was the point of surviving at all?" The recruit blinked, fighting back emotion. "So kindness is a broken bar strength?" Maya smiled gently. "The strongest weapon you'll ever carry." Word of that conversation spread quietly among the unit. Soon, others began seeking her out, not for war stories, but for guidance. One night, a group of recruits sat with her in the mess hall, asking about her past. She didn't give them tales of glory. Instead, she shared the little things, the sound of laughter around a campfire, the way soldiers shared their last rations, the small notes families tucked into pockets before deployments. "Those are the memories worth carrying," she told them. "Not just the battles." The captain watched all this unfold from a distance. He realized something powerful. Maya wasn't just training soldiers. She was teaching them humanity in a place where it was so easy to forget. The unexpected twist came weeks later. A letter arrived at the base addressed to Crosswind. It was from a mother in a small town overseas. She wrote about how her son had once been trapped during a firefight years ago, a broken bar, and how a mysterious sharpshooter had covered his escape. Her son had come home because of Crosswind. And though he'd since passed away from an illness, he left behind children who grew up hearing stories of the faceless soldier who had saved their father. The mother's letter ended with simple words. "Please tell Crosswind a broken bar thank you. You gave me years with my son. You gave my grandchildren a father." When the captain handed Maya the letter, her hands trembled. Tears filled her eyes as she read. She had never expected thanks. She had never wanted it. But here it was, a living proof that her actions had rippled far beyond what she could see. That night, she spoke to the unit one last time. "You may never know the lives you touch. You may never see the children who get to grow up because of what you did, or the parents who get one more holiday dinner with their family. But I promise you, Thesa, every act of courage, every act of kindness, matters. Even the ones no one ever sees. Her voice broke slightly, but she didn't hide it. So don't fight to be remembered. Fight to make sure others get to keep their memories. The captain stood among his soldiers, chest heavy with pride. He realized then that Crosswind's greatest legacy wasn't in her perfect aim or her battlefield reputation. It was in her humanity. Closing message. And so, in the quiet halls of the armory, where rifles were filed neatly into racks, a legend lived not as a ghost of war, but as a teacher of compassion. Because true heroism isn't about the battles you win. It's about the lives you touch, the kindness you carry, and the hope you leave behind. And sometimes, the strongest soldier in the room a broken bar is the one who teaches others how to stay human. Because at the end of the day, the greatest victories aren't written in medals or reports. They're written in lives touched, and lives saved.